The trust that may have existed is gone. So we have to start from ground zero. And that's not a Chief Lee issue. That's a Sanford Police Department issue.
The nation and the city of Sanford, Florida, frustrated with the actions of the city police department, still waiting to find out what steps are going to be taken concerning George Zimmerman. Joining me now with answers, Sanford Mayor Jeff Triplett. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. First of all,
thanks for having me.
That was Norton Bonaparte moments ago saying that the trust has to be rebuilt. How do you rebuild the trust in the department between this police department and the people you serve?
I think officially right now we've got to get to the bottom of this investigation. We've taken the steps from the city to reach out to the Department of Justice, the FDLE, Governor Rick Scott, the special prosecutor. I think when all those things come together, we can all sit down as a community and hash out what we need to go, where we need to go from here. So it's kind of almost a two-pronged approach for us. What did we do? Did we do something wrong? How do we fix that? And then also getting the justice that is desired in the case. But also on a third point is pulling our community leaders together and sitting down at the table for the first time in a long time and saying, what do you want to see? How can we get through this? What's the next step and how do we heal?
What was your reaction when you heard that George Zimmerman had not been arrested?
As a father, I was shocked. I have the same questions that everybody, that a lot of people have right now, is how could this be? How could this happen? How could this man not be in jail? It looked pretty cut and dry. And then when you get into the investigation and start hearing things and some things about our laws and the stand your ground, and you actually shake your head a little bit and scratch your head, and you wonder how can this happen? How can this be? How can this man not be behind bars right now?
How soon did you know about the whole incident?
It was approximately a week and a half after the incident. I was actually down in Tampa with my boys at a football game when I started receiving phone calls that this was going on. Immediately when I got that, I came back up to town and have been involved ever since.
And who alerted you to all of this? Was it the city manager? Was it Mr. Bonaparte, or was it citizens?
I believe it was the city manager was the first call. And
why did it take so long for people in charge to figure out that a problem had happened and that this needed to be addressed? You know, I interviewed Mr. Bonaparte yesterday, and he said at that point Chief Lee had not even temporarily stepped aside, and he said, well, we have to get to the facts and, you know, take time and make sure we have a thorough investigation. It's been almost a month.
No, I understand the frustration. I'm just as frustrated as anybody at the amount of time that this has taken. I think originally it was to do a full and thorough investigation, and then as we started figuring out what was happening from that point, the pressure really came on us to do something. I think the way it was handled in the media and some of the leaks that were in the department that have been ongoing in the department, and some of the responses from us have been absolutely terrible and have actually ignited some of the issues that we're in right now. So, and that's a managerial thing. That's part of the issue of why I voted for no confidence. I think Bill's a decent man. He's a family man. Bill Lee, that is, a family man. I don't think he did anything on purpose. But you know what? We're gonna search out. We're identifying both public and private people to come in or groups to come in and take a look at the investigation and take a look at our police department and take a look at our community, the community affairs, the community policing, so to speak. We're looking for an interim police chief right now that'll come in and start to regain some of that trust. That's all I can do right now. That my hands are tied except doing all that, saying we're an open book, please come in, let us know what we've done wrong, let us know what we need to do better, and that's the start of where we start regaining some community trust between our police department and them.
Have you spoken to Trayvon Martin's parents?
I have spoken to him. I had the unfortunately, I sat with them when we released the 911 tapes to them two Friday nights ago, and it's the most painful thing I've ever had to do in my life. And I showed them my grievance. I had to step out of the room a couple of times, and I just keep thinking, what if that was the only way it could be better is if, or worse, I'm sorry, as if it was my own son having to sit there. I'm just in disbelief. I don't know how it could get any worse than that for a parent.
And finally, the sponsor of the Stand Your Ground law has said it was not meant to be used to protect someone in a case who was pursuing, after being warned not to pursue, pursuing an unarmed kid. And I'm wondering whether you feel that now that this law needs to be readdressed, it should be appealed, repealed, rolled back, changed. What do you think?
I think Governor Scott said it best when he put together a task force to review it. I don't think that there's any law out there that is absolutely perfect, and there's people a lot smarter than me that are sitting around a table, hopefully right now, reviewing that law and the ramifications of that law. And I can imagine that there can be a better way to restructure that, but that's my personal opinion.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I know you're dealing with a lot down there and trying to address it at least now, and thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.